Okay, so it wouldn't leave the garage, but I did use the summon feature, so it's kind of a hack, and might as well use it while you have as part of this. So now I'm gonna put it into drive and see if it will go on its way. There you go. So it looks like it's live. It's not moving. It's actually kind of interesting. The screen seems to be trying to figure out which way to go, even though it's clearly supposed to go left, but it's like going left, right, nowhere. So I'm gonna just give it a little accelerated pedal and see what happens. Now, this is going a little crazy, but seems to be working. Moving a little fast. Down to 25. I'm going to slow this down to 20 and put this in the holster because it's sketchy. Ooh, that's a fail. So I'm just going to drive for here. This is kind of a weird area because of the recent storm. This seems to be the stuff that I'm seeing for version 12 is working a lot better. So hope that is actually the case, and we will find out soon, I'm thinking. They said it might be live in a few weeks, which who knows what that actually means. We've seen that happen, and we've definitely seen that not happen. More the latter, generally. But kind of just fun to be playing with this again. I think I wouldn't say I'm a Super Bowl or like...
In 500 feet, turn right onto Washington Court.
Yeah, maybe I should mute that. It was kind of more for my own double checking. But, you know, and here is the local wildlife. Yes, that is a peacock. There are wild peacocks in this area. Okay. Yeah, it'll be actually really fun to test to see what full self-driving will do with that.
Now turn right onto Washington Court.
I'm just gonna take this right, get it back onto like kind of an actual main street that also isn't as messed up with a lot of the tree limbs and other stuff that's being cleared right now because of the recent storm, and we'll try that. I don't think it's going to be perfect, but should be still entertaining. And I actually used this street a little earlier today, and it was pretty good. Okay, decent stop. We got someone right behind us now. It's taking a second. We're going to get a little accelerator. It's going. Overall, it's not bad. It's just still a little cautious. And honestly, I think the biggest thing, it being cautious isn't bad. I think really the big thing is the fact that it now comes to a complete stop. Throws off most drivers, which is kind of funny. If you end up getting rear-ended, I don't know. Is that say it's not safe because it did the right thing, or it should be more human-like? I don't know. But I think in a perfect world, it shouldn't be something that angers other drivers or cause issues. But we'll see. Okay, we got a couple people walking here. This is actually a pretty common area for people walking. So they're off the thing now. We got this little puppy up here and this older guy. Let's see if he gives a buffer. Went slow, but nothing too bad. Gave him away, but...
In 500 feet, turn left onto Carmen Drive.
Okay, this could be a little bit busy of a intersection. A lot of cars going left and right just because this is the main thoroughfare to get off and on I-5. So we'll see.
Now turn left onto Carmen Drive.
Just through on the turn signal. There is a pretty decent pothole, and I think it's going to drive over it. We're clear on the left. We're not clear on the right. Now we are, though. And so we're good. Okay. That wasn't too bad, actually.
In 500 feet, turn right to take the Interstate 5 North.
Pretty smooth.
Now turn right to take the Interstate 5 North ramp.
Okay, it's turning right. It's doing this. It technically needs to yield. It's stopping, which is the right thing, given there's some people coming, and it's a little cautious, but doing the right thing up. So we just got to honk. So I'm gonna just give it the accelerator. Big old Ram trunk just talking to us, which is pretty funny, but not surprising. Okay, so we got this thing going. Let's see. This is actually a really difficult turn area. It's doing the right thing. Okay, taking over because that guy was getting in our lane. We're just gonna get over this real quick. Get out of here. Okay, now we're in the right area. I'm gonna increase it to 65. Speed limit is 55, but everyone goes 10 over. I'm still gonna bounce. Just gonna keep the right lane. The road truck, of course, is going to be ramming figure. I mean, this stuff from now on should be pretty easy. You do get kind of what's known as the Terwilliger curves up here, so that might give a little bit of a challenge. There's just a bunch of twisty roads on an interstate. So we'll see. Kind of don't know why it got in the left lane, but or center lane. I think I have it on the most aggressive setting right now, so I'm just going to turn it down to average and see what happens. Yeah, this big, I guess it's a dump truck, is signaling they're going to get in the right lane. So slight slow down, but the right thing to do anyway. I mean, it is kind of funny. You pay more attention to what people are doing and what is kind of like the right and wrong thing. Some of these people in the left lane, and to be honest, this is midday, so not uncommon, but normally, and I mean, there's actually now people behind me that are clearly trying to pass these people too. So I'd say the car is doing the right thing. It's just funny when you got those left lane huggers. And it also just brings attention to you when you see people doing really weird stuff, like this guy's going to pass myself and another car that are going above the speed limit in the middle lane, and he's going to do it on the right. You'll see here in a second. And then you see like that big dump truck that took its exit pretty late and had to cross into not just the exit lane, but also a lane to get to it from the center lane. So while this definitely needs improvement, it just reminds you that people, for the most part, can be pretty bad drivers. And I think more true now than ever is people are just distracted. Okay, so once again, the left lane, which I would say is the right choice. It's got a little pocket, so it's going for it. I would like to maybe get over a bit quicker, but overall, really not that bad. Still healthy buffer between it and the other guy. Not sure if it comes through as well because I do have it in the fisheye mode on my iPhone right now. And this is now we're kind of in the Terwilliger curves area, somehow where it's a I-5. I mean, it's a big interstate, but this is an area that is pretty known for kind of these twisty bends. It'll slow down, but you can get filled up in traffic, and also people either being distracted or being haven't driven here before can do some silly things. But overall, we're in the left lane. I think doing kind of the right speed for this, especially this time of day. No one immediately behind us, so we're just kind of plugging along. Look at that, we got some fresh Teslas right out of the oven. New Model 3, and then the rest are Model 3 Highland. Personally, I think that's a really good looking car and kind of what they needed to do. A little less guppy, fish-like than the previous one. So it did just slow down a few. Oh, it slowed down because we did actually go into a slower speed area. So we're still doing technically 10 over. And people are getting on us behind us, which is kind of funny. So, I mean, it technically did the right and smart thing. And this is, especially this area, is where it gets the name the Terwilliger curves. And most truck drivers, especially if they have Oregon plates. Well, this one is Canadian. Are used to this, but it's not uncommon to see trucks or just other sorts of cars kind of drift over. So you do really want to be careful of that. And I know you can't see me in this, but yeah, I pretty much am ready to take over at any point. I've got my hands on the wheel. Having said that, I know some people who say they're car people and really good drivers are like, yeah, it makes me more stressed because I feel like I have to take over at any second. And I think that was definitely true with the earlier autopilot. Nowadays, I think it's at least gotten predictable enough that it feels pretty reliable. It's a lot better just holding a corner like it is now. It does brake every now and then like it is with this version, just because it starts seeing cars get into the lane or get close to the lane, which makes it seem more like a cautious driver. I mean, that's what someone who's new at driving would do. That's not really, it's kind of maybe overly protective, but not. It's probably what you'd want to see if you, especially if you're skeptical of the system. Still doing a decent speed and a decent little space, but really not that bad with the car ahead of us. Even more space with the car immediately behind us, and I get the feeling, yep, it's going to pull over in the lane next to it, just because it was holding up some cars behind it anyway. So we'll see, maybe someone will start riding my car.
In 1 mile, take the Interstate 405 north exit on the left toward US 26 west.
So I am going to put it in the assertive mode, which, as far as that, oh, yep, here we go. Here's one of those cars that was wearing that guy's belt that is now right behind me. But I will say he probably has about a little less distance than the car I have ahead of me, so it's really not that bad. But the intersection we're coming up to is kind of a tricky one, so it'll be interesting to see if it gets it right. Technically, I think we're okay. Normally, you go, or at least when I drive, you to stay with I-5 North, you get in the right lanes. But since we're going to city center, we should be fine. Actually, might get some backup because it's another way for people to go to Beaverton, but we will see. Overall, not bad. I guess what I was saying earlier is about some people being overly annoyed that you have to take over immediately. I think it is kind of a fair criticism. I'm actually increasing the speed again because it did slow down to the speed limit.
Now take
Whereas I think if you're in this lane and just with how things go, you really do want to be going a little over, but still a healthy and very legal
1,000
amount.
feet, keep a right to take Interstate 405.
Let's see what it does here because it's going to need to take a
Now keep a right
right.
to take Interstate 405 north.
Slowing down a little bit, but not a bad amount. Yeah, it's going to take it. Probably should have put on a turn signal, but really not that bad. Okay. So what I'm noticing is it does seem to slow down a lot to the speed limit, which isn't a bad thing. And there still isn't anyone immediately behind us, but it's just more like, personally, I would be going a little faster. I've increased it to what is still completely legal and a fair amount, and it's doing just fine. Now, what I would do, this is actually also a really busy kind of part of I-405, which is a split off from I-5 that goes kind of near the city center of Portland. Normally, right about now, I would get in the middle lane because we do have someone who's really speeding, kind of coming up behind us. I'm going to force it.
In 1 mile,
Just turn on the turn signal.
left to stay on Interstate 405 north.
There we go. I accidentally turned on the turn signal too much, but yep. Okay. Not going to around anyone, but he's going healthy speed. But yeah, this has a lot of turnoffs, or I guess off ramps. We passed the main one earlier, which goes to Beaverton and actually out to the coast. And then these are just kind of different ones into the city center. Depending on the time of day, it can get really busy. Since it's midday, it's not really that bad. And so being kind of just in the far right lane, it's probably the right choice. Now, admittedly, you've got someone behind. Yep, they're moving out of the lane right now. And with all this traffic, I'm just going to get back into the far left lane because there's no one behind us now. And this is probably the other busiest part is kind of on 405, this merge to Everett and
Next,
Gleason Street
stay
exits
on Interstate 405 North.
for this time of day. And kind of rush hour too. Okay, so I think it thinks it's trying to pass. Maybe not. But it did slow down because of that big truck right there, which I did hit the accelerator pedal a little bit, and then once I did that, decided to.
In 1,000 feet, take exit 3 on the left onto US 30 west toward St. Helens.
Okay, so we are on the right exit for this because we wanted to take the St. Helens. Ooh, there was some truck going the other way, broke down pretty big time. Not sure if you guys can see that. Okay, so we're taking the St. Helens
So
exit.
take exit 3 on the left.
And it wants to get in the right lane. A little bizarre. Fortunately, there's no one immediately behind us from the other sides, but we do want to get, I think, shortly into the right lane. So, oh, actually, which way is it taking? So, I think that's actually. No, we do want to get in the right lane. So, no one behind us. So we'll see what it does. We actually got plenty of time. No one behind us. Someone kind of way back in the lane we want to get into. Oh, he's passed over anyway, so it's getting over. It's just perfectly fine. Well, this has been really interesting. Having not used this in a while, and a fairly... Okay, see, once again, it's gone to the speed limit, which... Right thing to do, safety-wise, probably. But I would argue almost makes it unsafe because of the speeds everyone else is going. Or just kind of the natural speed of traffic. Interesting, once again, this lane. There's no one behind us in any lane, so everything it's been doing is totally fine. Kind of curious I did this. This works, but normally I would have just stayed in the left lane. Might work out. I don't think it did it intentionally, but I think it'll work out just so we pass one of the big trucks that was kind of going slow there. This is kind of on the west side of the Willamette River in Portland, going in through what's known as the industrial area. We're right now on, I was going to say Columbia, but it's not Columbia. It's what NATO merges into. What are we on? I used to drive this all the time to get up to St. John's. So funny now these have all the streets have the intersection street, but they don't have the street break. Okay, so there's a car a little bit behind us, but still a decent ways, slowing down. Slowed down more than I would have, so I just gave the accelerator a little bit, but not bad either. A little bit of a late turn, but. And the guy behind us has a good amount. Once again, this has gone down to the speed limit, which such a funny thing. It on paper should be the right thing to do, but it is not because of traffic. I think one of the things I'm most interested to see is with version 12 is this whole thing about its ability to actually monitor and kind of maintain speed and adjust speed much more accurately. So we've got a few miles until the next turnoff. If it was me, I'd probably begin the left lane because of this truck, among other things. But there's also quite a few cars and trucks behind us, so it's probably after this truck, it'll be interesting to see. This is probably when I would personally make the turn into the left lane. Because right now we're doing about 10 under. And that's due to the traffic ahead of us, but I have it set to 5 over the speed limit, which is kind of more normal traffic speed for this area. We got a car behind us, but really good spacing, so kind of nice to see a guy actually giving you, whether, I mean, he doesn't know it's self-driving, but just giving you what is actually for a human driver, even just kind of a healthy amount too. Got this one car hanging in our blind spot. Okay, that truck finally moved, so maybe the Mini Cooper will speed up. So yeah, we're now doing the speed I have it set at, which is 5 over. Normally, I actually probably drive a little bit faster through here, but it's a fun little bump. Definitely haven't driven through it in forever. So I'll just kind of leave it. It's 5 over. We still got a few miles to the next turn, but we will need to get in the left lane. Okay, what's going on there? Kind of don't know. It may have slowed down a little bit because it looked like that guy was trying to cross there, which really isn't smart, I think. But there he is. Okay. I would say that was pretty good. I mean, it's kind of funny. I don't know if I would have slowed down because of that guy, but it definitely would have been what was if I mean it was my attention, but there's a good likelihood since there was no one now behind me at that time, I might have just slowed down just to see what he was doing. But okay, went back, speed limit went up by 5, so we're back out of that, so I'll increase it by 5 again. Just stay in the right lane. This is an interesting area. It can actually be kind of a oddly surreal and beautiful area when it's a sunny day out, especially around sunset, even though you're going through this really industrial area where there's a lot of like natural gas and other gas storage facilities, among other industrial buildings. And now you're starting to maybe see it, probably not because it's in the fisheye mode, the St. John's Bridge, which of the many bridges of Portland, I think is the most beautiful. And for a long time, I got to drive almost daily when I lived up here. I think one of the interesting things I've noticed with, since it's probably been a year since I've had this full self-driving and using it again, it definitely needs work, but it is much better than even the last time I used it with moderating and handling speed going into corners and adjusting to other things. Really curious to see what this 12.0 version will bring. Obviously, it's probably the more bullish people in the Tesla and the self-driving realm have spoken super highly of it. So don't want to get my hopes up too much, but from a technology perspective, and that was part of the reason I got this again. I'm most intrigued by going with a neural net approach just from a technology perspective. That to me seems the most likely. Now we are 1.5 miles from where we need to be, and the right lane is closed in half a mile. So I am going to manually change it right now. I'm taking over. It didn't look like it was doing a great job. There you go. In its defense, I didn't know this was going on either, but okay, I just turned it back on in the right lane. Nope, that I know what it tried to do. It tried to take this left turn, but it's actually too early. Oh,
In 1
interesting.
mile, turn left onto Northwest Bridge Avenue.
Interesting. Okay, I didn't realize this either. Okay, that makes more sense too. The distance. This is normally where you would. Yep, I'm looking before. This is normally where you'd actually take the left turn to go to St. John's. It's slowing down a little bit because I think those construction workers and even kind of went around them. Not the worst thing. It's going the speed limit right now. I'm going to increase it now that we're kind of past them, just to keep up with traffic. There's a person behind us, but now there's pretty healthy distance. So it's not like we're slowing down for them or anything anyway. But so we're going to approach the St. John's Bridge from the other direction. Normally, when coming, heading north like we were, you would take that exit that was closed. So this, I've got a feeling I will probably have to take over. But we'll see. It's a really, really sharp turn. My guess is it'll probably get into the lane okay. But and if it does make it, even if it's a little janky, it'll be pretty impressive. But we'll see. So it's slowing down. Give this guy plenty of room. I think I still am the most assertive. Good. Okay. Turned on the blinker, like it should. So it's in the right lane. I'm curious to see, because there are so many cars ahead of it, maybe it will do the right thing. And I'm even trying to figure, okay, so yeah, we don't. Okay. Interesting. So the left turn signal is off now, which really isn't the worst thing, but just kind of interesting. Okay, just turn it back on as well.
Now turn left onto Northwest
The
Bridge
light
Avenue.
is still green. They're slowing down. It's slowing down for the car ahead of us, which I think is fine. Nope, it might have corrected, but it was going too slow, and it was starting to turn a little more direct than it should have. There we go. Turn it back on. Which, I mean, to be honest, not surprised. That's a very sharp turn, and not what I'd call full self-driving, needless to say, but it's just would be a tricky turn in general. Now it's kind of funny. Oof, yeah, there's so many potholes on this road in general, and it is clear it is not avoiding those. But we're going slow enough; it's not too bad anyway. And that noise you're hearing is mostly actually
Northwest Bridge Avenue.
the noise you're hearing isn't a rattle in the car; it's actually a rattle from the phone holder. If you're wondering.
Now keep left to take Northwest Bridge Avenue.
So, interesting. Turned on the blinker as it should. It's kind of slowing down, giving a little bit of accelerator. Understandably, it's a little confused because that whole thing's closed, and that's normally a light. The Prius behind us is getting a little close, so I just gave it some. Yeah, it's still okay. There we go. Oh, and that's the other thing is I was actually giving it the accelerator. That's why it beeped at me. Just to give the guy behind us some space. But what is also funny was once again, it had gone down to the speed limit, which was fine and kind of the right thing to do. But like I said, not really keeping up with traffic. And maybe I don't have the right setting turned on. In the past, it just didn't seem like it would actually go 5 above. But that's probably what I should set this to. So yeah, just passing the St. John's Bridge now. Fun fact, it looks familiar to you. Yes, it was actually designed by the same guy who did the San Francisco Bay Bridge, probably the most famous suspension bridge in the world. So, a little copy and paste, but with just the patina of how it's green and everything, and especially among the hills and kind of a shorter span.
500 feet,
so high
turn
there,
left onto North Lombard Street. Then your destination will be on the left.
So we want to go straight, which is right. It's doing the right thing. It's going to lower to the speed limit, which for through here is pretty high pedestrian. That's fine. Giving this guy good amount of space. Now it is supposed to get in the left lane, but it's going to go in that puddle, so I'm turning off.
Now turn left onto North Lombard Street.
It probably would have been fine, but yes, those potholes in this part of Portland are horrible. Yeah, this is actually all new for me. So this is a three-way stop. Okay. I used to live up here, but I have not been up here in ages.
Now your
There it
destination is on the left.
The old taqueria. That's Mexican food in Portland, or at least it used to be, so I hope it is still. So pop this real quick. Here, get some quesadilla. Thank you for joining me.